All right, let's go ahead and jump into the rundown here. So Nas apparently is tired of celebrating Illmatic. He said,
I heard that.
25 years is a lifetime. He continued on talking about he did another symphony orchestra show for Illmatic and got a plaque for that. He says, I'm grateful. He said, it's so crazy, but to celebrate one album when I've made over 10, all the things that I've worked on and I've been involved with for so long, to celebrate one album over everything else is corny to me. He said, I don't want to celebrate another Illmatic anything. I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for appreciating the record, but it's over. That's crazy. But I actually, if you put yourself into his perspective, if you think about somebody mentioning your first album every single time, you know, top albums of all time come up, the anniversary year comes up. Like, I guess it's kind of the gift and the curse in my opinion, because that album is iconic. It's crazy. But it's like, you know, I could see him getting tired of getting, you know, this plaque and this car and this Illmatic custom this and that. Like,
No, I don't think he's tired of receiving the accolades. I think he's just tired of performing it.
Just from performance standpoint?
That's what I think.
I mean, the symphony concerts, for me as a fan, I'll be biased, but those concerts are dope to me. I love live instrumentation, the strings, orchestration, everything, how it's arranged. So that's dope for me. But to your point, who am I to say he's not tired of performing it? You know what I mean? So I can dig that.
I think it's when you look at like a Jay-Z, Jay-Z's whole body of work is often celebrated. People will pick certain albums that they think are great, but there's several that they can pick from. Everybody is always, whenever Nas is mentioned, Illmatic is Illmatic, and then it's a kind of everything else. Although it was written, I think, was really good and
very slept on, in my opinion.
I don't know, like some other. The first Lost
Stillmatic.
Tapes is really good.
God's Son was good.
Yeah.
Street Disciple.
Yeah,
not
I
a
love
huge,
Street Disciple.
not a huge. Why can't I think of the one?
Nostradamus.
No.
That was the whack one.
If there was one Nas album that I would say was whack, it's Nostradamus.
But maybe that's it for him. Maybe he just doesn't like that, And at the end of the day, this is 25 years. Like, I don't see people doing this every 5 years forever. I mean, it's going to come back up again maybe in 40 or 50 years, or if he needs some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In one of those 5-year things.
He got some good
around.
investments out there. I think he probably could.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Portfolio's
saying. So, I
crazy.
mean, it's not going to come up again. But, I mean, that's his feeling, man. It's his music. He can feel how he wants at the end of the day. But, I mean, I think to be thought of as making, arguably the best hip-hop album of all time.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure he thinks so, too. But, I don't know.
I
If
think
you kind of look at it from like, say there were kids.
Right.
So you have all these kids, and everybody only likes your first child.
I mean, that's a great comparison, man.
That's actually what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Mo.
mean, imagine being a creative and the first thing you come out with is the thing people celebrate. And then throughout the years, everything you put out is just not as good as this thing that you made a long time ago. So he's put new stuff out. I was like, yeah, it's good, but it's not that. Or it's not, like as a while, you're like, well, shit. It's probably just annoying more than anything.
As a creative, I think that would probably drive me crazy, because when you get done with something new, it's not that you think it's the greatest that you've done, but you feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get to the point where you've made something and it's recent and it's extremely dope, you feel good about it. And to hear somebody be like, yeah, that was dope, but I remember what you did back in whatever.
I don't know. I think every single project I've ever done that's had any type of follow-up, I've always liked the follow-up more.
Yeah.
Every single time. So,
I don't even think Illmatic's
As it
my
goes.
favorite Nas album.
I mean, that's debatable, because I hear a lot of people put it was written in the place of Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? Like my dude named Jeezy, he's a DJ out in DC in the DMV area. Like he always talks about it was written. He says Illmatic was dope. The multiple producers setting that template, all that's dope. But he's like, man, they sleep on it was written. I'm like, I'm not they. Like I get it. But that I know why that album is iconic. I know why. I get it. I understand it. But bar for bar, project for project, it was written is right there, in my opinion. If not better.
It's a time period piece, too.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, from a historical standpoint, I will say I do like Illmatic being brought up just for from a standpoint of making sure that we don't lose sight of some of the great material that's come out in the past. Now, it didn't have to be a parade and all that, but I don't mind it being brought up here and there when we talk about, you know, just hip hop in general and the longevity of it and where we've come to in the progression of it. I'm not mad at that. Like,
I think it has to be in order for hip hop to continue to be, I don't know, like the history of hip hop, for it to be important.
Right.
I think it has to continue to be brought up.
I think life is good.
So much
is just
changed.
as important.
So much changed as a result, I think, of that album coming out.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, not only was it an incredible album, but, you know, the first time you had multiple producers on a big, you know, on an album like that, you know, all this other shit. But I think it has to.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't say life is good is just as important, but it's just as good.
I disagree with that.
You don't think life is good is just as good as Illmatic?
Not top to bottom. And I like Life is Good, but now
I only maybe dislike one or two songs on there.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it, but
and the reason why I say that is because it's a more recent release from Nas.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So Life is Good came out 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's a good album.
That album is damn good.
It's really good.
I'm not mad at
that. Illmatic came out in '94. Right?
Let me double check.
Was it
93 or 94?
93, 94. So, I mean,
if this is the 25 years, then it was 94.
94, okay. But yeah, I mean, it definitely transcended as far as including more than one producer. And we actually talked about this last night when we were listening to beats.
Yeah.
As far as people having albums that include more than one producer, and he kind of started that trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's going to always, like you said, be a hip hop milestone in itself. But I can see where he's coming from as far as not wanting to continually praise Illmatic and not mention any of his other releases.
As an artist, to you guys' point, I think that's probably very frustrating.
I mean, people just personal real quick for the listeners to know, like, people love Frozen Liquor. From 𝐏𝐁𝐿, especially locally.
Yeah.
But it's probably third on our list of projects that we put out. To me, you know, I listen to it sometimes and cringe a little bit. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know the difference between that one to you know,
sure.
I don't really care for that album. No, I'm just joking.
Lone was like, well, all right.
One of my
I like it a lot.
One of my favorite songs on that is the one that you have cuts on, the I Am joint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a long time ago.
But
it is a good album though.
To your point, though, I could see, you know, you'd be like, you know, you.
I went back
like
and
that.
listened about 2 weeks ago, and I was like,
yeah.
it's a good solid project. Don't get me wrong, but listening to that and then the growth to the next project was like, okay, wow.
But the one thing we all know is there's a connection to music with time frames too. Like a lot of people we got so many albums we can name where you know exactly where you were and why it resonates so well. So I guess you got to take that in consideration too. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be cats that are a little older than us that remember Illmatic differently from we would from us doing it. You know what I mean? But I mean, if that's how he feels, I can respect it. You know, but that is a timeless project, man, and definitely to Spool's point, we got to keep that part of it alive. Just for the hip hop story in general. So
it'll never go anywhere.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
I think you're right.
Nor should it. Real quick, Mike, before you get into the next topic, I believe, is this our 3 years we've been doing this podcast now? 156 episodes.
Yes, sir. 3 years straight. To me, that is an accomplishment. My little consistency. I know it's hard. Sometimes life happens. With some of us have missed shows here and there, but to be able to, you know, stand pat and continue to put out product, man, that's a